here at Ray Sumter in their district tournament. Tonight's a very special night because we recognize our 9 seniors and their parents. Let me emphasize parents. First senior up, Bryce Alabata. Bryce is escorted by his parents, Kevin Alabata and Gene Blankenship. Bryce plans to attend Defiance College in the fall. He will pursue a degree in business and will be playing baseball for the Yellow Jackets. Bryce's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is going to regional finals. Next senior is Paris Creek. Paris is escorted by his parents, Dustin and Christy Creek. Paris will be attending Defiance College in the fall. He will pursue a degree in business, playing baseball for the Yellow Jackets. Paris' favorite memory of Bryan baseball is winning the districts last year. Zach Kern, next senior. Zach is escorted by his parents, Rod and Christy Kern. Zach plans to attend Point Park in Pittsburgh. Zach will pursue a degree in intelligence and homeland security. Zach's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is winning the district title his junior year. Next senior, Derek Nicely. Derek is escorted by his parents, Brett Nicely and Peggy Anderson. Derek will be leaving June 15th for basic training for the United States Marine Corps. His favorite memory of Bryan baseball is winning the district's championship. Bailey Martin. Bailey's escorted by his parents, David and Heather Reiser. Bailey plans to attend Miami University in the fall. He will pursue a degree in supply chain management. Bailey's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is beating Defiance in the district finals last year. Nate Rao. Going out, Nate. Nate is escorted by his parents, Kevin and Amy Rao. Nate plans to attend Bowling Green State University in the fall, where he hopes to continue his baseball career. He will be pursuing a degree in middle school education with a minor in administration. While Nate has many memories of Bryan baseball, like turning the field lights out in center field, his best one is the most recent NWOL win versus Wasion and dogpiling on the mound. Next time he plans to be on top of the dog pile rather than the bottom. And we will have a next time yet this season as we are on the road to state. Ethan Retcher. Ethan is escorted by his parents, Angie Burklow and Eric and Ann Retcher. Ethan plans to attend Miami University in the fall to pursue a degree in finance. Ethan's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is winning the district title. Next senior, Kyle Roop. Kyle is escorted by his parents, Matt and Rachel Roop. Kyle plans to attend Bowling Green State University in the fall. He will pursue a degree in criminal justice. Kyle's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is winning the league title his senior year. Connor Terrell. Connor is escorted by his parents, Tyler and Cherie Terrell. Connor plans to attend Miami University in the fall. He will pursue a degree in business. Connor's favorite memory of Bryan baseball is beating Defiance in the district championship game and also hitting a walk-off against Toledo Central Catholic in the JV game his freshman year. You look great out there, guys. Congratulations, senior, and congratulations, parents. And thank you for all the members. No pictures. Not yet. Tonight's lineup for Bryan will feature all the seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the starting lineup for Tinora Rams. Leading off and catching, number 6, Reed Anders. Batting second, playing second base, number 5, Brevin Brenelette. Batting third in right field, number 19, DJ Kissel. Batting fourth at third base, number 7, Dakota Stark. Batting fifth First baseman, number 21, Logan Bailey. Batting 6, your designated hitter, number 30, Derek Smith. Defensively for Tinora in left field, number 20, Jeremiah Smith. Batting 7th, your starting pitcher, number 2, Matthias Grube. Batting 8th, in center field, number 10, Nathan Dravis. Batting 9th, at shortstop, number 3, Jacob Dravis. For your Bryan Golden Bears, leading off, senior, number 7, Dalen Miley, designated hitter. Batting 2, junior, thank you. He's the one junior. Batting 2nd, catcher, number 14, Derek Nisley. Batting 3rd, at shortstop, number 6, Nate Rowell. Batting 4th, in center field, number 21, Kyle Roop. Batting 5th, left fielder, number 15, Bailey Martin. Batting 6th, at third base, number 5, Ferris Creek. Batting 7th in right field, number 2, Connor Terrell. Batting 8th at first base, 26, Ethan Retcher, and batting 9th. At second base, number 25, Zach Kern.
And welcome back. Welcome in this afternoon on a pretty afternoon. It's senior day here at Ray Sumter Field. Jim Funderburg along with Chris Malenga as we get ready to bring the final baseball game of the season here on BMU TV. Ready for the national anthem, so we'll take a step away. When we come back, we'll introduce you to both teams and get ready for the first pitch. Welcome back to Sumter Field. Jim Funderburg, and as always, along with me, Chris Hit 'em Long and Far Malenga. Mr. Malenga, I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful afternoon, and it's probably going to be a ball game that the Bears are going to be focused on a little bit here today, because they won their first game, the sectional final, yesterday afternoon. But in listening to the coach at the end of the game, he was not happy with the way that we played. And he said, thank goodness we have several more before we get to hook up again with Wauseon next week. So this is not just your normal baseball game this afternoon for the Bears.
Yeah, it's not. It's a time to work and fix things. And, of course, you're playing against the defending state champions.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt any.
You know, not like they're playing any cupcakes today.
It's a team that has graduated several from last year's team. Obviously, we checked up on the web. They're about a 500 baseball team this year, unlike last year. But they will be back here at Sumter Field next week to play Edgerton in their tournament game. So that will be a sectional final for them. Bears, obviously, yesterday with the win over Toledo Oak Harbor, 5-2. Move on now to what is the first round of the district next week, and they'll be over at Archbold playing against Wauseon. Interesting ball team this afternoon. Chris, why don't you give us both the starting lineups for both these teams?
Number 18, Bryce, Alabama.
Well, Reed Anders is going to lead off and catch. Brevin Renolette will play second base and bat second. E.J. Kissel will bat third and play right field. It'll be Dakota Stark batting cleanup, playing third base. Logan Bailey at first base, batting fifth. Derek Smith batting sixth, and your designated hitter. Matthias Grube is your pitcher. He'll bat seventh. Nathan Dravis will bat eighth and play center field. And Jacob Dravis will bat ninth and play shortstop. So there you have it. That's the starting lineup for the Tinora Tinora Rams defensively for the Golden Bears, it'll be Bryce Alabata on the mound. He'll, of course, pitch to Derek Nisley as the pitchers have done most of the season. It'll be Ethan Retcher at first base, Zach Kern at second base, Nate Rao at third base. Nate Rao will be at short. Paris Creek will be at third base. Bailey Martin, left fielder, Kyle Roop. The center fielder, Connor Terrell, will be the right fielder.
Interesting situation. 9 seniors on this baseball team, and all 9 take to the field to start things off here in the top of the first.
Yep.
And Alabata ready to deliver his first pitch of the afternoon, and it will be in there for a strike. I was really surprised and very fascinated to learn where some of these young men are going to go next year. Chris, a couple of them of note, Nate Rao heading over to your alma mater, going to try to walk on and play a little ball at BG.
Yeah, it's been real fun watching, some players from here play at Bowling Green. Especially TJ Losby is probably the best player that we've had out at Bryan that played at Bowling Green. He just graduated last year, but Trevor Blaylock, he's left on the team this year. So get some more Bryan people. One time we had 4 players from that team from Bryan.
Wow, that I'll tell you, it's always fun to have them close to home. And speaking of close to home, Bryce Alabata going to head down to Defiance College next year and play baseball down there for the Yellow Jackets. And with that, he's run the count full 3-2 to the leadoff batter, Reed Anders. And that'll be fun. We get a chance to do some of the Defiance games, and next year we'll get an opportunity to call a game for Bryce Alabata, who gets Anders looking out number 1.
Not like the call. He stared pretty good at the official.
Looked like it got maybe the inside corner from the official's viewpoint. Yep. We're sitting down this third baseline, so it's hard for us to catch balls and strikes.
This will bring up Brevin Renolette, the second baseman.
Renolette, a holdover from last year's team, and also his dad, I believe, the coach, and the third base coach right now, right in front of us here. But what a magical season the Tinora Rams had last year. Ground ball hit the third, picked up quickly over to first, and just like that, Paris Creek with a nice put out. And that's 2 up, 2 down right away for the Bears. And yesterday in that Oak Harbor game, as I was talking to Paris's dad here a few minutes ago, the Bears got off to a 5-0 lead, and then the bats went quiet. But the gloves continued to show up all afternoon, and the defense basically held them in that ball game on an afternoon where pitching wasn't spectacular and the hitting was just non-existent after inning number 2.
Yeah, it's always good when your defense can back you up, keep you in games.
Ball and a strike to the second batter of the inning, Brevin Renolette.
It makes it really easy as a pitcher if you know you got a good defense behind you.
No doubt about that. Just a little bit outside, even it up at 2-2. In fact, this is number 3, and at E.J. Kissel. Renolette grounded out for that second out. Got behind myself there by 1, fouled off. Count stays at 1-2. The one thing that I've been noticing about this ball team, though, this year, the depth all the way around. This is a team that has several pitchers that can come in, just like we're seeing here today, and have the ability to move guys all around the in and outfields when you need some defensive help, but have been just very solid all the way around. And no matter where you place these guys, they seem to be able to play the position that Coach asked them to play. And with that, strike 3, a couple of strikeouts in the inning there for the Bears, and the Tinora Rams will go with a whimper here in the first.
Yeah, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on, and we will head to the bottom of the first inning. Bears coming to bat with Miley, Nisley, and Rao when we get back here on BMU TV.
Bottom of the first is the Bears will have their first opportunity to come up and face the Tinora Rams. And, both teams obviously threw their aces yesterday, to be sure. Not really familiar with Tinora and who that is, but Bailey Martin yesterday had kind of a rough outing, and the longer it went, the tougher things got. And Martin actually only went 3 innings yesterday afternoon, so he should be fresh next week when they have to travel over to Archbold to play Wauseon. But Creek came in after that, did a pretty decent job, and the Bears were able to limit Oak Harbor to just a pair of runs and able to win that first game of the season here in the tournament and wrap up that sectional crown. It's always been odd to me, Chris, that you only have to play 1 game oftentimes to win a sectional title. But that's exactly the situation that the Bears find themselves in. And, hey, sectional title's a sectional title for my money, huh?
Yep.
Plaque looks nice in the den. That's the way it goes. So leading off for the Bears, Dylan Miley.
Let's take a look at the weather. Right now, winds are out of the southwest at 9 miles an hour. Currently 79 degrees. And we are expecting some showers, but later tonight, taking a look at the radar, it's there's some showers in South Bend, but it shouldn't affect us.
Miley pops that out into a short right center field, and the second baseman actually with the put out as he goes all the way out into short right field, steps over the right fieldman, and just like that, Brevin Renolette with the first put out of the afternoon. And that'll bring Derek Knisley to the plate. Guess it's almost more than a pop out when it gets as deep as what that one was. We'd call that one a fly out. First pitch in the dirt and low as Knisley, the left-handed stick, watches that one go by.
That was the same pitch that they threw the first pitch to Dalen Miley on.
And just like that, Knisley heading the count, 2 balls and no strikes. As Matthias Grube on the hill here this afternoon for Tinora, trying to find the strike zone early. Knisley pops it up, and the pitcher underneath of it, and just like that, 2 up, 2 down. As the Bears bats again, a little bit silent. Last night they started off really well, had the opportunity really to almost look like they were going to run rule Oak Harbor last evening. And then at the third inning, the bats just went quiet for the rest of the night. And the Bears had to hang on to what was a 5-0 lead and eventually a 5-2 win. That ball, a little knuckleball or something that skipped about 10 feet in front of the plate.
It hit the grass.
Lost the handle on whatever he was trying to throw there.
Ooh, that was
line
smacked.
shot right to the first baseman, and I tell you what,
Wow.
an easy play at first, but that young man has got to be about 6'5" tall, and he went up in the ladder and pulled that one down. So the first baseman, Logan Bailey, waited, timed it, a little bit of a hop, and that's out number 3 for the Bears.
No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. We will head to the top of the second inning with Stark, Bailey, and Smith up to bat when we return on BMU TV.
We've played one here on BMU TV, and both teams having some difficulties here early. Just even finding a base runner, as both pitchers with a very easy first inning. As you take a look at Alabama, who had a couple of strikeouts and a ground out for his efforts in inning number 1. He'd like to keep that one going, as he will have Stash Bailey and Smith, Jeremiah Smith, or Derek Smith, I'm sorry, batting for Jeremiah Smith. Nope, flip-flop that. Jeremiah Smith batting for Derek Smith as a designated hitter. Those the 4, 5, and 6 batters here in the inning. And he will start him out with a strike right down the middle, and Dakota Stash watched that one all the way to the catcher's mitch.
Is that what you got? That's Stash?
That's what I don't know. That looks that way.
I got Stark. We'll see.
Fly ball to right center, and it could be Stark. And to put out an easy one out in right center field
Logan Bailey.
for the Bears, Connor Terrell.
That'll bring up Logan Bailey, the first baseman.
Well, it's either S-T-A-S-H or S-T-O-R-H. I'm not sure. How's that? I can't read the writing. I'll tell you what. We'll let Shar decide. Shar, how do you decipher that last name there? Is that an S-T-A-S-H or an S-T-O-R-H? Fly ball will be handled out in S-T-A-R-K. Stark, how's that?
Shar agrees with me.
That Shar's got much better eyes, obviously, than I do, and ever have. And Terrell, with his second put out of the second inning, this time in foul ground down that right field line.
This is actually Derek Smith, your designated hitter.
And this is the big fella that you thought resembled somebody that plays for your Tigers here, huh?
Comparatively to the rest of his team, he looks very Miguel Cabrera.
There you go.
Looks like somebody who hits some power.
Yeah, he does. Ball and a strike to Smith.
Short and squat.
And Alabama just fires one right on by him. And I'll tell you, if Alabama's going to go down to Defiance and throw the heater like this next year, he's going to be a nice addition for Coach Woodley and his bunch. That one just off the outside edge, even things at 2. 2 outs here in the top of the second for the Tinora Rams, and a ball game that has all the markings of a pitcher's battle here. Swing and a miss, and Smith can't time that one up. And Alabama's got 3 strikeouts, I think, already, Chris.
Yes,
is that right?
He does. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Alabama with 22 pitches through 2 innings. And that'll bring up Kyle Roop, Bailey Martin, and Paris Creek when we return here on BMU TV.
Bottom of 2 here on BMU TV, Channel 3. Chris and Jim. Got little helpers here. We actually have the man of the hour on the controls back there. Big E's in the house here this afternoon.
Yeah.
Shar and Aaron up here, and I really wasn't going to give Aaron any credit because of that hat he wore here today. The other day he wore that Woody hat, and I was, patting him on the back, even though I wasn't a Woody Hayes fan and everything. And today he's got that darn Steelers hat on. Oh my goodness. Shar, don't turn the camera on that guy, okay? Because that's even, this is a PG rated program. And that hat right there will probably scare some young children out there. And I'd hate to do that.
We talked about Bryce Alabama getting pretty efficient. Matthias Grube only needed 7 pitches in the first inning.
Grube will face Root, Martin, and Creek here. And the noise starting to get a little bit louder here. A very active crowd here today, and also everybody right down below us in the dugout letting their teammates know that they want to get some things going. A rifle shot to second. One bounce, pick up, and a nice throw over to first. And boy, that was close to Bailey. Just about pulled that foot off that bag a little too early, but the bouncer to
left fielder
Brennan Renolette. And the easy out to open up the second here for the Tinora Rams.
Yep.
2 ball teams, though, that have a baseball tradition. Tinora and Bryan. Doesn't get any better than that. Little off speed for strike 1. And, it's a lot of folks will ask, why do these teams play a game like this one when they're right in the middle of tournament time? I mean, you wouldn't do that if you're playing football or basketball, as that one's a little bit low and inside 1-1. But the baseball, a whole different animal, Chris. You like to keep that hitting eye sharp and those fielders sharp.
Yep.
And with Bryan, they don't play again until Thursday. Ground ball to short. Drews picks it up, has some trouble with it, and by the time he gets it over to first base, the runner will be safe at first. And a nice job to hustle down that first baseline for Bailey Martin. And Martin will be the first base runner of the afternoon for either one of these teams. Paris Creek comes to the plate.
Well, Dravis did a nice job there of picking it up and shooting it over to first base, but I think his foot was off the bag just a little bit as it crossed.
Fisted him at that, a little popper to
there he is,
shortstop.
Dravis again. Wow.
So a nice job to get Creek, as that one seemed like it got the non-solid part of that bat. You could hear that ping.
Yeah, instead of a thump.
Yep, exactly.
This will bring up Connor Terrell.
Bears with a runner on first and 2 outs. And this one's lifted up in the air on the infield. Shortstop Drews will kill off the third baseman, and just like that, the Bears will go out in the inning after getting that base runner on first base, Martin. They will strand him there.
Yep.
Again, we played 2 here on BMU TV.
Yep, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We will head to the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be Grube and the 2 Dravis boys after this on BMU TV.
Back here on BMU TV, Matthias Grube, the batter now, the pitcher, as we get all the pronunciations in this one living brain cell here this afternoon. And Grube pops it up, foul and out of play, as Knisley looks up over his shoulder there, and that one caught something in the bleachers that was metal. A couple of the Tinora parents had to scatter, but they had plenty of time as that one was skied in the air.
As long as it doesn't hit my car.
Alabama takes something off that second offering, and it's No balls and 2 strikes now. Again, something with the off-speed variety, and Gruby able to get his bat on that one and foul it off. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Leadoff batter here in the second, or in the third. Nobody's scored here this afternoon. In fact, the Bears the only team to have a base runner. That was Martin in the second, and they stranded him at first. This one low in the dirt, 1-2. Fouled off. And no play, just over the fence there on the other side of the Tinora dugout.
That woman went moving. She hustled out of the way.
Probably a good idea.
That's right.
Ethan Retcher hustling over towards the fence, but
he had a long way to run.
Estate.
He has a long way to run. I mean, he's playing in the gap there.
There's a lot of distance too in both the foul lines on right and left. So plenty of ground, which normally would help the fielders there, but also, as you said, Chris, it's a long way to go. Off-speed pitch a little bit up and away, 2-2.
Tell you what, after this morning, I didn't think we were going to get this game in as far as the rain this morning.
Yeah, it didn't look good, did it, here as we got going. Ball low. Full count now, 3-2.
This will be the 8th pitch for Alabama versus Group.
Nathan Dravis, the batter. Jacob Dravis, the next guy up to bat. And this one again fouled off as Nathan hangs in there.
This is still Group.
Oh, this is Group?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He hasn't. This will be his.
Got nobody
pitch.
out, is there?
This will be his 10th pitch now.
Good deal, man.
Wish we had the rule 4 fouls and you're out like we used to play kickball.
Ground ball to Rao. He'll scoop and throw over to first, and they'll get Group by a step. Good job by the Bears defense, and again, as we said, even when the bats aren't working,
Nathan Dravis.
Aren't working well. There you go. I don't know how you spelled Dravis, D-E-W-E-S, but that's okay. I'm good, man. You're the man.
It's a Tinora thing. It's been
it.
that way for many, many years.
You got her. I should have never doubted you, Chris. You know what I mean? I'll never do it again.
I've been doing these games far too long with all these.
Yep. All these weird names.
Yep.
Inside for a strike.
I think that's a Putnam County name, actually.
Must be. Outside corner was strike 2.
Wait, you should see some of those German Henry County names.
Yeah, baby.
Doing a Patrick Henry game or
and took a little bit off that, pulled the
beautiful.
string, strike 3.
That was beautiful.
Alabama without number 2, and he's got another Dravis here to take care of.
Oh, I don't know what he did today. He took something off of it is what he did. But
yeah.
It totally confused the batter.
Pulled the string on that one, baby. 2 outs now. Nobody on, and Alabama trying to get out of inning number 3 here without a base runner, which would keep his record perfect through 3. Strike. No balls and 2 strikes. And I'll tell you what you got to like about Alabama, too. He's throwing strikes this afternoon.
Yep.
They were fouling a few of them off, as you said, with Grube fouling those. What do you have, 10 pitches, 11 pitches? Okay, before he made the ground out. But that's the only reason his pitch count looks a little inflated at this point in time, because he has been throwing strikes. That one just a little bit low and inside. Of course, when I say that, he'll throw a ball. 2-2 now.
Yeah.
Bryce with the stretch of the pitch. This is a ground ball.
Slow.
Creek will pick it up.
Fire
over the first.
Oh,
and in time. And a nice job by Paris Creek to make that play and fire that baseball over the first base. So Tinora, 3rd inning in a row. They go 1-2-3 here on BMU TV. Senior day here on BMU TV. 9 young guys on the Bryan Golden Bears, not playing their final game for coach and the team here this afternoon, but they do have another tournament game, I think, next week scheduled, and then the Thursday night game over in Archbold against Wasion, who really just barely got away from a very tough Napoleon bunch yesterday afternoon, as they actually went into the bottom of the 7th inning.
Tough to play a team twice in a season.
Yeah, it is. Scored the winning run with a base hit in the bottom of the 7th. Take a 4-3 win yesterday over Napoleon to set up a showdown again against the Indians and the Bears. Fouled off, ball and a strike. Richard, Kern, and Miley, the scheduled batters here for inning number 3 for the Bears. And we hope we can add a few more. This one low in the dirt to get around the catcher and head towards the backstop. 2 balls and a strike now. As the first baseman, Retcher, hangs in for his first opportunity this afternoon. This one fouled away. Matthias Gruby, the pitcher, and I'll tell you what, these 2 pitchers have been extremely efficient so far. Chris, no hits. They called that Bailey Martin base hit that we had basically an error, as the shortstop booted it, picked it up, and Martin actually ran it out. So no hits for either team at this point in time, as the count goes full of 3-2.
You talk about Gruby being the pitcher he is. This will be pitch number 20, and we're in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Ground ball goes to short. Long throw to first, just in time for the putout, as Jacob Dravis picks that up. And I'll tell you, the one thing I've noticed about this grass today, even though it's nice and it rained an awful lot around here, ball's still getting through the grass pretty well. It slows down the smidge, but not too much, as this field dried out wonderfully after, as you said, Chris, all the rain that we had this morning.
Big time rain for a couple hours. It was just heavy.
Zach Kern, the second baseman, up for his first at-bat here of the afternoon, and he watches ball 1. Foul back over the seats. That'll even everything up at 1-1. Now, obviously, Martin, with just the couple innings he pitched last night, you get 10 innings a week. So the opportunity for Martin to actually come back in here and pitch tonight, I'm not sure. We probably will start this, whether we start the week off again now or not. But Kearns will get the first base hit of the afternoon as he lines one into center field over the head of Brevin Renolette. And the second baseman covered an awful lot of ground, but couldn't quite get to that one. The Bears now have the first hit of the afternoon, their second base runner on first.
This will bring up Dalen Miley. Miley flew out his first time up to the second baseman, Renolette, and that was the play that Renolette went into right field.
Yeah.
And kind of stepped over his right fielder to get.
Renolette, you can tell he's a baseball player out there. He's quite the athlete. First pitch is fouled off. Interesting to see whether the Bears will have people moving on the base path right now as Kern looks over to third base coach, gets his sign, then gets his lead. Miley stands in and waits, and there goes Kearns. Ball tapped right in front of the catcher. Put out will be at first, and the runner was already at second but couldn't advance, as that ball hit really basically right in front of the home plate. Pitcher able to look back to second real quick before he fired down to first base to get the put out.
Nicely.
Nicely now with an opportunity with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position at second. Outfield pretty much straight away. It's 318 right down that right and left field line. 345 to right center and left center. And then you, as we always say, have the green monster out there in dead center field, somewhere around that, I would guess, 350, 360 mark. Gonna have to walk that one off one of these days, Chris, and put a big sticker out there or something.
Can you walk 360 feet?
I don't know, but we tried. It might take a while. And
I don't know if I could walk 200.
Maybe I could get one of those electronic things, where they use for. I know. Those golf ball, you know, the driver calculators, you know, and I can look out there and see how far I've got. Past that, it would be a good day's exercise. 3 balls and no strikes now. As Nisley hangs in, looking for a pitch maybe to drive and score this first run of the afternoon. That one's low, and just like that, there'll be runners at first and second with 2 outs now for the Bears.
For young Mr. Rao.
Batting for Bryan, shortstop, Nate Rao.
These are the kind of situations, Christopher, that's going to either get Mr. Rao playing baseball at Bowling Green or not playing baseball at Bowling Green, you know?
Yep.
Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Timely hits in situations like this will get him some playing time, and he rips this one into left field. That's going to have the runner going towards the plate. It'll be cut off. So Zach Kern made the turn to third and was chugging down that third baseline. The left fielder, Jeremiah Smith, picked it up and fired it in. And the pitcher, who was midway to the plate, scooped it off to keep the runners at second and first. And sacrifice that first run of the afternoon as the Bears go up 1-0 on their second hit of the day.
That was a sweet play there.
That was.
Solidly hit.
Good solid aluminum on that ball there,
This
you know?
is Roop, who grounded out to the pitcher his first time up.
And he pops it up. First baseman in foul ground, lost his footing, and then Renolette came over and bailed him out with the put out in foul ground. I think the first baseman, Bailey, tripped a little bit as he was heading into foul territory. Then he got his eye off the ball, and I think he lost track of where that baseball was. And Renolette came charging over from second base and dove and made the put out for the out number 3.
Well, it was 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. And we head to the top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Bears on BMU TV.
Back here at Ray Sumter Field, Jim and Chris on a Friday afternoon. TGIF, it's baseball on BMU TV, and the Bears in the bottom of the third, Christopher, able to play to run, so they have a 1-0 lead as we head towards the top of the 4th. And Bryce Alabama, who's done a pretty nice job of pitching so far, steps back out on that hill and sees if he can't keep a good day going here.
Real quick, I want to point out our webcam for the school building project.
Oh, yeah.
At yesforbryanschools.com. We upgraded it last week. Eric did a nice job, and we've got a real camera up there now that takes pictures every minute between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. so you catch some good sunrises and sunsets on there as well.
Tinora,
as we get closer to stuff being built, you'll be able to zoom in and pan at certain areas, you know, where we want to set the camera. So right now it's kind of a wide overview of the whole site, and it's pretty good. So check that out, yesforbryanschools.com.
They are making progress out there, all right. Back to the top of the order here for the Tinora Rams as Reed Anders comes on, and he grounds one right up the middle and into center field for the first hit of the afternoon for Tinora. And the first base runner of the afternoon also for the Rams.
Brevin Renolette.
Brevin Renolette, and I'll tell you what, I have been extremely impressed with Brevin Renolette and his abilities to play baseball. That play he made on that foul ball to end the inning, end the third inning here, was spectacular, and he'd already made a couple of nice plays before that.
He grounded out his first time up, and Jim, I wonder if he was thinking that his first baseman had it, so he was jogging over to end the inning, and maybe realized he didn't and came over a little faster.
Yeah, he kicked it into a higher gear. There's no doubt about that, Chris, and then he slid and was able to catch that ball just about where that first base coach is right now, and the first baseman basically, I really do believe, lost it in the sky as he was making his way into the foul grounds there. Tripped just a little bit, and when he tripped, he looked down at his feet to see what he tripped over, and when he looked back up, I don't think he knew he had the baseball, and he could have yelled something to Renolette, you know, to let him know that he was lost down there and needed some help. Throw back over to first base to keep that runner close. Anders at first, Renolette up at the plate. Counts full at 1-1. And again a throw over.
Oh, that was close. Woo. I'd try that again.
Yeah.
He was not very speedy to get back, was he?
Had him looking the other direction, so you got to believe that maybe they've got a play on for Anders. And he was leaning maybe towards second base a little bit as Alabama misses the inside corner with ball 2-1. Throw over. Oh, again.
Wow.
Very close. And that move by Alabama is a good one. He gives you all the dressings there that he's heading towards the plate, and then he's coming right at you. That one high, 3-1.
Retcher had his glove out like he was going to get it from the catcher.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Don't know what the plans are this afternoon for the pitching stint here for Alabama. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw down to second, and the double play is the strikeout, throw out. And a nice job by Derek Knisley. And I'll tell you what,
Tinora,
if people
right
haven't
fielder,
figured that one out yet,
Kissel.
they better here in the next couple of days and the next couple of weeks as they head into this tournament, because you don't steal on Derek Knisley very often.
No, you don't.
And the punch out, throw out clears the bases and cleans things up for Bryce Alabama, who gets strike 1 with a nice off-speed pitch.
This is E.J. Kissel, who struck out swinging his first time up. Easy for me to say. Oh, they gave him that low one on the corner, too. Wow.
Strike 2 at the knees.
Nice crowd out here today.
Yeah, great crowd, but what a beautiful day it's turned into. Off speed, ground ball, shortstop Rouse, got it, fires, oh, and basically hit Ethan Retcher in the absolute worst spot, right in the webbing of that big old glove that he's got. And the error will
Tinora,
put
third baseman,
the runner
Dakota
on
Stark.
first with 2 outs as Dakota Stark comes to the plate.
The error on Rao.
They give that on Rao, or do they give that on Retcher?
Well,
Boy,
it's
that ball-
high. He pulled him off the bag.
Yeah, it's possible.
380
Strike 1.
feet to center field, by the way.
385 to center?
380.
380. Cool. Who gave you that number,
Eric.
man? Eric did?
He went and walked it, apparently.
Yeah, Herman. I saw somebody there in a pair of shorts walking out there a minute ago. You know, he just
He
put,
said, Google's got it all.
he put that big old machine on cruise control, and he came out in his flip-flops. I saw that guy walking out there. I thought we might have had a streaker or something going on there for a minute. 2 balls and a strike now as Alabama works on this third out of the inning, and that was a little bit inside, 3-1.
He would like to remind you that he's wearing pants as per BMU dress code.
There you go.
As am I.
Attaboy. As am I today. How's that? And I don't even work for BMU. Swing and a miss. Makes it full here, 3-2 with 2 out here in the top of the 4th. There you go. I should have had my shorts on, you know. Darn it.
I wore pants because when I left the house this morning, it was like 43 degrees.
It was cool out there today. No doubt about it. Fouled off again. Stark.
55 pitches now for Alabama because of 2 long at bats.
Yeah, Stark
An
hanging
11
in there.
pitch at bat, and then Stark. This will be his 7th pitch of the at bat.
Unfortunately for Alabama, he ought to be out of this inning right now. As the ground out, swing and miss. Alabama gets out of what little bit of trouble he was in right there with the K.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on, and we will head to the bottom of the 4th inning, where it will be Bailey Martin, Paris Creek, and Connor Terrell. We'll return on BMU TV.
Oh, it is baseball time in the big city of Bryan, Ohio. Did you see, Christopher, they were rated the #1 city in the state of Ohio.
#1 small city in the state of Ohio.
I'm not sure what that crew or who that crew was that rated that.
That's okay, we'll take it.
But anytime you want to rate us #1, doggone it, we love you. Come on in, we'll buy you dinner and show you the town, because it is a nice little town to live in. There's no doubt about that. Bears want to try to get something going with these bats again here in the bottom of the fourth. They got things started, Chris, last inning.
Yep.
Able to score a run, but they left a couple on base.
Yep. Bailey Martin got on his first time up with the error on the shortstop.
Yeah, and that one, again, another one of those tough calls. But I'll tell you, the official scorer here this afternoon is not being generous, is he, huh? There's no doubt about that.
We'll go with Sebo on that one.
Jeff Inselman heads down to third there.
Left fielder,
By the way,
Martin.
Tim, the line for both teams for Tinora, no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on. Bryan, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 3 left aboard.
So Martin steps in. And again, that breaking ball of some sort that bounced in the grass and then to the catcher. And Matthias Gruby. I don't know exactly what he's throwing, a knuckle curve or something with that thing, but it just absolutely comes out and bounces its way to the plate. That's in for a strike, 1-1.
Gruby on 33 pitches right now.
Very efficient afternoon for Gruby. This one popped in the air. And again, Renolette comes over, and he'll make the play just in fair ground in shallow right field. When you got Renolette over on that right side, man, you could pretty much shade everybody else any place else you want them to go, it seems like,
Absolutely
because that young
true.
man can cover some ground.
Paris Creek up now.
Third
He's 0
baseman,
for
Paris
1. He
Creek.
flew out to Dravis, the shortstop, his first time up.
Creek watches the first one go past a little bit low, ball 1. Gruby fires again, this one in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Old buddy Craig Rutter is the AD down at Tinora. And he's very proud of these Rams and the accomplishments they've had. A program that has been on an upswing here the last few years, much like the Bryan program.
Yep.
Again, all the way around, all programs having success. Baseball, obviously, with the state championship last year. This one called a strike on the inside corner to make it 3-1. As Creek has to step back in after watching what he thought was ball 4. That one's low, so Creek will get a chance to truck on down there. In fact, Bryce Alabama next year will be pitching at Craig Rutter Field.
Yeah.
For the good Golden
So that's
Bears,
what,
right fielder,
that's what DC
Connor
thinks of
Stroud.
Craig Rutter.
I'll bring up Connor Terrell, who flew out too short his first time up. Shallow short.
Big gap out there along that right field line. If he can just poke one down that way. Everybody's shading Terrell towards left field. Center fielder creeped over into left center, and the right fielder basically right in right center. And then down that first baseline as Creek takes off with the ball in the dirt, and he'll beat the low throw into second base. Hesitated there for a second, but he saw the ball get away from the catcher, and then he took off running to second. Anders threw it, but it bounced, and the shortstop, Dravis, had a hard time putting any kind of tag on the base runner. And
That were a good throw he may have had on.
it was close, you're right. Right on the money. So the Bears have a runner in scoring position with only 1 out here in their half of the 4th inning. And that pitch a little bit high, ball 2, 2-0 now. As Connor Terrell, you were saying that his dad had updated his Facebook page a little bit today?
Dalen Miley.
Oh, Dalen Miley. Wrong name. Me and names today have not been having those senior moments this afternoon, I think. Throw down to second, not in time. As Creek got back in. I bet that was an interesting picture, though, of all the old hats.
Different
Because
logos, because they're using this style as kind of Boston B now.
yeah,
But
yep.
they have had different logos.
Infielders playing deep, except for the third baseman who's even with the bag. That ball catches the outside corner for strike 1, 3-1.
They've used black before.
Yep. Bears going to try to make Gruby make a few extra pitches here this inning because he's been cruising up until this time.
He's up to 43 now.
Pop fly, second baseman charges. Renolette will make the put out. So 2 outs now for the Bears.
I need to check something here.
Point of over Bears first baseman.
Dravis, the shortstop,
Ethan Retcher.
looked like he was going to make that play, but anything close to Bryce Renolette will, Brevin Renolette will end up being Renolette's ball to catch.
He has put out 4 people himself.
Renolette with a pretty good afternoon.
Yep. I love stats.
Ethan Retcher up.
He grounded out his first time up to shortstop.
Retcher, the first baseman, would love to get a base hit right now and make this a 2-run game. Got to believe Creek, if that ball's hit out anywhere in the outfield, Creek's going to touch third and head towards home as Retcher's down 0-2. Gruby looks back to second. Looks back again. And now come to the plate. And that one's high. And Retcher lets it go by for ball 1.
Good that you didn't swing at that. It was not close.
Ball and 2 strikes for Ethan Retcher. Saw Chet Dangler out here, Brian's #1 fan, a little while ago.
Yep.
Coach Redhead was here yesterday, saw some pictures of him, and obviously had the meet and greet yesterday, ball 2 now.
I did not get a chance to get out there yesterday.
We're going to try to hook him up and get a chance to talk to him a little bit. Not sure whether he's still in Northwest Ohio or whether he headed back to Florida. We'll have to check with Teresa Kuzma and see what's going on.
I think he's here today, but I think he's heading back though.
Might be on his way after this. Okay.
I was looking out there to see if he's out. He came to the game last night.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bears with a runner at second and a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Retcher gets under this one just a little bit, flies it into short right field. Renolette backpedaling will make the play in short right center. And the Bears go down without scoring a run in the 4th.
They do. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, but they did leave 1 aboard. That'll go to the top of the 5th inning with Logan Bailey, Derek Smith, and Matthias Gruby up to bat after this on BME TV.
Friday afternoon, little baseball with Jim and Chris. Bears up 1-0 in what has been a very fast-moving and well-played baseball game by both teams. Both teams with an error on the afternoon. Only 2 hits for the Bears, only a single hit so far for the Tinora Rams as Alabama will go into inning number 5 here this afternoon. And you got to believe, I would think that both Coach Renolette and, you know, both the coaches, I would think Coach Inselman and Renolette both this afternoon would like to see their starting pitchers get as deep into this ball game this afternoon as they possibly can. Not sure when they reset the weeks, whether it starts on a Monday or a Sunday or a Saturday or what it might be. The other night, Edgerton and Eden, Chris, went into 11 innings, and both pitchers used up all 10 innings for this week in that ball game. Went through 10 innings with only 1 hit between the 2 of them.
Wow.
Edgerton ends up winning the ball game in 11 when they had to pull the Eden had to pull their starting pitcher. This one is rocketed left center field, and it's going to bounce and head to the wall. Rounded first and heading to second with a double is Logan Bailey.
Smacked that one.
That was the very first
For Tinora, designated hitter, Derek
solid.
Smith.
Well, it's the second solid. They had a nice single, a nice line drive single, their other hit this afternoon. But that one got over the head of left fielder Bailey Martin.
This will bring up Derek Smith, who struck out swinging his first time up.
Smith right down to Creek. Knocks it down, looks the runner back at second, throws to first. And just like that, there's 1 out in the inning. And a nice job by Creek.
Nice job to not let the runner advance.
Took his time, knocked it down, picked it up, looked over to second to Bailey.
And And then Ethan came over and kind of looked the runner back after he had the ball. He came pretty far out off the base.
That's a big fellow down on second base, about 3 long strides, and he's pretty much at third. That's their first baseman, and he's every bit of 6'5", 6'6", as he leads off at second. Alabama looks back and then delivers to the plate. That one's low, ball and a strike. First runner in scoring position this afternoon for the Rams, and Alabama's going to try to take care of business. This one, line drive, left field, fair ball just inside that left field line, or nope, foul ball.
Foul ball. Wow.
That one was close.
Yes,
We
it was.
couldn't tell from up here, but the way that people were moving, I thought everything was going to be fair, and then we looked back to our right, and the home plate umpire had come halfway down the line and called it foul, and it was just barely foul. Ball and 2 strikes now. As Gruby, the pitcher, trying to help his cause here this afternoon. He's pitched a nice game here on the mound. Ooh, that one looked awful good. Ball 2. Could have
make up for the foul.
very quickly been called strike 3. Swing and a miss. Who needs the cold strike 3 when you can fire some heat right back against your opposition?
For Tinora,
And get the big K.
Nathan Dravis.
This will bring up Nathan Dravis, the center fielder who struck out swinging his first time up.
Bears trying to get out of this inning without any damage as they're up 1-0 here at top of the 5th. Alabama catches the outside corner for strike 1. Stretch and pitch. That one a little bit high, even the count at 1-1. Alabama's attention now mostly right to the plate where it should be, and that one low and in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. The only guy that counts is Dravis, the lefty up at the plate.
He's being careful with him. He's not throwing him anything to hit. That's why he's got the 2 balls.
And the big fella Bailey down there at second. I don't think he's going anywhere. This one's in the air. Fouled ground. Everybody chases, but it's going to fall in between everybody down along that bullpen, along the left field line.
Just a long third strike. Or long second strike, rather.
2-2 with 2 outs. I'll tell you what, I don't think even Renolette could have gotten to that one there, Christopher. I'll tell you, that was
Not from second.
No, yeah. He might have given it a try though. That one just kind of placed where nobody could get to it. Off-speed pitch, a little bit low for 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Runner will be going.
Logan Bailey down there halfway between second and third, and they'll throw back. Oh, almost had him. Ball 4 to Gruby, and the quick toss back down to Nate Rao, who tried to make that swipe at the big fella Bailey, who was able to slide just under his tag. Catch the difference between those two if you get an opportunity there between Rao and Bailey. This one, line shot to Bailey in left field. He doesn't even have to take a step. Comes right to him, and just like that, the Bears get out of trouble with the line drive third out here in the 5th.
They have no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Zach Kern, Dalen Miley, and Derek Nicely when we return here on BHS Baseball.
Back here at Sumter Field in Bryan, Bears and Tinora Rams hooked up in a good baseball game this afternoon. 1-0 Bears as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Coach Inselman's going to do something for us down here. I know he was talking to Austin Hutchinson about something. And I heard the comments a couple times, be ready as soon as this happens, you're going in, be ready, be ready. So whether he's setting up a couple guys to pitch run, if he gets some guys on base here this inning, or if he's setting up maybe some defensive moves there for the top of the 6th, Chris, we'll we'll find out when we get to that point, won't we, huh?
Yep. Zach Kern, your batter, he singled to left center field his first time up.
Kern, Miley, Nisley, Rowell, Root, Martin, and Creek. That's how many's batting in this inning there, Chris. How's that?
That'd be nice.
And then we'll watch as they change pitchers. First pitch was a little bit high and inside for a ball. That one's outside, ball 2. Kern got on the first time up, right?
Yeah, he singled.
Yep. That one's low. Bounces off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. Now they're going to make Groovy try to make a pitch here, I'm sure.
Groovy with 53 total pitches, 27 balls, 26 strikes.
Pretty easy afternoon so far, except for that 1 run, and that one catches the outside corner for strike 1.
He was taken all the way.
I think that's what they said. I believe the big fella down here, Coach Inselman, was, did you catch his sign? Is that what you saw? You saw him? That one, strike 2, right down the heart of the plate. Not sure whether he had him taking that one too, but
No,
either way.
I think that one was a little outside, actually.
Kern just watched that one go by. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th. And Kern watches that one, bounces off the outside of the plate into the catcher's mitt for ball 4. And Kern again, to a bigger spot down on first base.
Yep.
For the
This will
Golden
bring
Bears,
up Dalen
Kevin
Miley as we
Hitter,
head to the top of the
Dalen
order
Miley.
for the 3rd time tonight. He flew out and grounded out. He flew out to Renolette in the 1st, and then in the 2nd inning, he had that ground out to the pitcher that advanced the run. It was like a sacrifice bunt.
So maybe Groovy's wearing out just a little bit. As this one's high and inside as he starts Miley, the leadoff batter, off of the ball. Got a little dust there. Got a little dust kicked up. That's hard to believe on a day like today.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was some powdered sugar off of Aaron's powdered donut over there. You got donuts over there and you're hanging out, holding out on us. Drive. Left fielder going to chase that one down. And to throw in to first base for the double play. Don't know exactly what Zach Kern was doing. I guess he thought that was going to get over the head of the left fielder, Jeremiah Smith, but Smith able to track that one down. By the time he got it, Zach Kern had turned the corner at second, was heading towards third, and he had to go reverse himself, and there was no way to get back in the throw and the relay back to Bailey at first base for the putout. And just like that, Bears have now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Left base early.
This one's going to fall in front of Smith. Actually hit his glove, and that shows you how important that last out was. As if Kern would have just stayed in midway through first and second and then gone back to first after that catch, the error on the left fielder, Smith, would have at least had Kern standing on third right now, if not have scored on that 2-base error.
I think that's a single.
Wow, okay. That was a tough play, I'll give you that. And Jeremiah Smith, who made a real nice catch on the play before. This one's in the dirt past the catcher and goes to the screen. And the Bears have Miley now, or have Nisley now down on third as Rowell at the plate. Rowell came up with a big hit last time up. See if he can single in Nisley here to stretch this lead 2-0. That one's in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, Anders. Nisley going to take a little bit of a liberty down that third baseline just in case that ball gets loose. Derek Nisley's going to scamper his way to home. That one's in the dirt, and again, Anders able to stop that and keep it in front of him. And Gruby has to be thanking his catcher right now because both those last 2 pitches could have easily brought run number 2 home. 3 balls, no strikes as Gruby now having some troubles in the 5th. That one's low, ball 4. So Rao will trot down to first base.
Puts runners at the corners with 2 outs for Kyle Roop, who was 0 for 2. He grounded out
For
to
the
the
Golden
shortstop.
Bears, center fielder
That
Kyle
long
Roop.
foul to end the inning where Renolette had to come over. Let's see if there's going to be a change here. There's definitely activity in the bullpen for the Bears.
Everybody out to chat just a little bit. Looks like Creek was down warming up in the bullpen for the Bears. You know, you probably look at this one a little bit differently than a normal game here this afternoon, Chris. You know, if this is a district or sectional baseball game where your future's on the line and your pitcher has runners at the corner with 2 outs, and it's starting to show a little sign of wear here in inning number 5. You might go to a relief pitcher at this point in time, but instead, Coach Renolette will walk right back to the dugout.
He's only 9 pitches shy of Alabama now.
Yeah, he'll leave Gruby on the hill and let him see if he can't get himself out of this jam that he's put himself into. That one's low for ball 1.
I wonder if Nate's going to try to advance to second.
Got to believe Nate's probably going to take off running here pretty soon.
One would think.
Wouldn't believe that they would throw to second with the runner at third, but you never can tell. There's the throw over as Gruby wanted to get Rao a little bit closer to that first base bag, but he's probably got the same idea that you do, Chris, that Nate's about ready to take off towards second. Strike 1 called, and Rao not going anyway. As Coach Inselman will leave this up to his cleanup hitter here, Kyle Roop, to make some things work. Big gap there in that second base hole into right field. Renolette with all his range, if you put this thing in a normal spot where the second baseman is played, is probably not going to get to it. Ball into the grass, over the head of the catcher. Nisley will just almost walk to the plate, and Rao will end up on third on the wild pitch. And again, whatever that pitch is he's trying to throw, whether it's a split finger or a knuckle curve or whatever it might be, he kind of gets a different grip on it and loses the handle of it. That one actually, most of them have been getting to the edge of the dirt portion of that of the plate. That one hit even farther up the grass and went kicking over the catcher's head. Inside ball 2.
We're going to see
Ball
Tyler
3.
Roger as a pinch hitter after this.
Now again, the seniors have played to this point there, Chris, and I'm sure that's what Coach Inselman was trying to do, was get his 9 seniors as much playing time this afternoon as he possibly can.
Runner still at the corners. So Roger will come in batting for Martin.
For the Golden Bears, batting for Martin, number 1, Tyler Rocher.
And you know, I'll tell you what, maybe, well, he had Creek warming up down there. I was thinking that maybe if the innings didn't count, maybe he'd put Martin back in there tonight to close things down, just to maybe try to find his stuff, because he had a rough time finding the plate yesterday afternoon. You say that, and I think he only was credited with 1 of those 2 runs, if I remember right. But so I guess that's not that tough. But for Bailey Martin, the way that you normally expect him to pitch, he was in and out of trouble all afternoon, the short time that he was in. No balls and a strike. That one a little high to even things up at 1-1. Let's see, how far did I go down? I had Roop. Had I gotten to Martin when I said we were getting that far when we opened up this inning? I think I did, didn't I?
Yep.
I think I'm better go get a lottery ticket here for tonight, huh? That one's high, and Martin watches ball 2 go by. 2-1. Oh, I'm sorry. Roger went in for Martin. I'm sorry.
He did.
I didn't make the change on my my board. Chris, without you today, buddy, I'd have been lost. I'd have been calling, basically the Golden Flashes and the Who knows? All day long.
You haven't had a Golden Flashes.
Yeah, I've not been
You
around.
haven't had a Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's
What's
been
up with
good.
that, huh?
Crazy.
That part I've got okay so far, but the rest of it's been a little bit dicey at best, you know. Roger hangs in there. 2-2 the count. Runner takes off on first, ball low in the dirt. Roger now full at 3-2. Tyler like to get one here. Base hit probably scores a couple. Ground ball right up the center. Shortstop picks, throws. Roger's going to beat it. Nice job by Tyler Roger to hustle down that first baseline. The RBI will put the Bears up now 3-0.
Gave him a single on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Entering the game, running at first, number 15.
Good job,
David
Roger
Martin.
just legged that one out. Jacob Gravis with a nice clean pickup and throw, but Roger had a mission as he headed down that first baseline.
And we're going to get let's see, Martin's back in, I think, now.
We're going to change some folks around here, it looks like, for Tinora.
Bailey Martin's back in now.
Okay, Martin down at first base to run.
Let's see what we can do here.
I don't know. Okay, somebody coming out of the dugout now.
Number 4.
4 is Tyler Williamson.
Grube will sit down.
Tyler Williamson, number 4.
Grube will sit down, and so there's really no offensive or defensive switches other than the pitcher. One
And
pitcher replaces the other out of the dugout.
Tell you what, Grube pitched a pretty nice ball
Yeah,
game
I mean,
through.
the final line on him, let me call it up here. He faced 23 batters through 74 pitches, 40 balls, 34 strikes. He gave up 3 runs. All of them were earned. He had no strikeouts. Gave up 4 hits.
Pitching for
5
Tinora,
walks.
number 4, Tyler Williamson.
So his ERA is 4.50.
Really, up until this inning, he was cruising.
Yep, he was.
Only 1 run, couple of hits, and really was, in fact, was
Played for the Golden
really
Bears.
pitching a nice ball game,
Third
as you
baseman
noted a
Bears.
couple of different times. Had 20 or so fewer pitches, less than Alabama coming into the inning, but then all of a sudden, the roof caved in. It was the curse that we put on him from up here when I said, coming up to bat, and then I listed 7. He probably heard that.
He only had 2. He's given up 2 hits this inning. 2 hits prior to that. So
Pop fly, short right field. Renolette right there for the putout. And the Bears will go down, but not before they score a couple, Chris.
yep, they had 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, left 2 aboard, and we will head to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Reed Anders, Brevin Renolette, and EJ Kissel when we return here on BMU TV.
Oh, man.
Jim in his tight white suit
Yeah.
out there.
Where's that? If I'd have known you were going to play my theme music, man, I'd have worn the suit, the big fluffy shirt, let my hair grow out a little bit. Wouldn't have trimmed the sideburns this afternoon. Head to the 6th. Bears up 3-0 here, and the Bears going to change some horses on the mound, Chris.
Yeah, Austin Hutchinson now
Leading
your
off for
pitcher.
Tinora, the catcher, Reed Anders.
And see how he does. Final line here on Bryce Alabama. He faced 18 batters through 72 pitches, 28 balls, 44 strikes, no runs, 7 strikeouts, and a walk, and 2 hits.
Hutchinson will face the top of the order, and Anders, Renolette, and Kissel.
Nice job there. Nice job by Alabama. 7 strikeouts.
I thought he pitched a nice game here this afternoon. 5 solid innings of baseball,
6 of those strikeouts were swinging, by the way.
Only a couple of base hits as they ground out. We'll go second to first, and the Bears, just like that, have 1 out.
For Tinora, second
Anders.
baseman, Brevin Renolette.
Renalette the batter now.
Hutchinson is a junior.
Yeah, I tell you, the rest of the Bears squad still seniors out there. As Kearns with the put out on that first batter, and I'll tell you, Hutchinson throwing some heat.
Yep. He actually pitched for the Bears as a freshman in relief.
That one outside, ball one. Well, obviously, around here the cupboard is never bare. It seems like on the baseball side of things. That one in the dirt, almost got Renalette to go around. They say they did go around as he checked with the first base umpire. So a ball and 2 strikes. I think the umpire's taking a little grief down that first baseline by some of the Tinora faithful. Had to look over there and chat with some folks in some green shirts. That one fouled off. Still a ball and 2 strikes. So high evens things at 2. Bears trying to get out of this one with a big win, non-conference win here this afternoon, and then both teams will move on to tournament play next week. The Bears will open up district play next week, Thursday night, 7 o'clock with Wauseon. And Tinora will play Edgerton.
Oh, just misjudged it.
Into the gap and almost to the wall. Relay comes into second base, but not before the batter standing there at second with a double. And Bailey Martin kind of came in just a little bit to start and then couldn't get back far enough and over far enough to pull that one in, Chris.
Yeah, I think he just misjudged where it was heading, too. So Renalette's at second, and that'll bring up E.J. Kissel, who is 0 for 2. Struck out swinging and reached on an error. That was the one where Rao pulled the first baseman off the bag.
Hutchinson will start him out with a strike. And again, that's another thing I liked about Alabama. He threw a bunch of strikes. Hutchinson throws this one in the dirt. And a good job by Nisley to keep that ball in front of him. And Renalette, who had thoughts of heading towards third base, had to trot back into second.
Well, down 3-0, you can't lose base runners.
Yeah, no
So
doubt
it's gotta
about
be
that.
Smart.
Swing and a miss.
You know, this is the top of the 6th inning. They get one more chance after this inning.
Yeah,
So
you need to put a run on the scoreboard if you can.
If you don't do your bases correctly.
Hutchinson pulls the string on strike 3, and there's 2 outs now.
For Tinora,
the top of
third
the
baseman
6th.
Dakota Stark.
Bring up Dakota Stark.
Hutchinson with the line and the throw, and that was in the dirt for ball 1. Big thank you to all the sponsors tonight: Bryan Ford Lincoln, Genesis Healthcare, Northwest State Community College, Krill Funeral Home, Wheelan Auto Care, and Culligan Water of Bryan. 2 balls and no strikes as Hutchinson having a hard time finding the plate. That one, though, awfully close.
Actually, real close.
Strike and the throw, and they've got Renalette caught up. Relay down to third, and the put out for the final out of the inning. Renalette took off running. Nisley fires to second, and then the throw down to third had Renalette dead to rights. And to put out the final out here in the 6th sends the Bears.
That would be a 2-4-5 on the putout.
Attaboy.
So that's no runs on 1 hit, no errors, none left on. There's those base running errors we talked about. It is scheduled to be Connor Terrell, Ethan Retcher, and Zach Kern in the bottom of the 6th, but we'll see who appears out of the dugout after this on BMU TV.
Back here at Ray Sumter Field, Jim and Chris as we head towards the bottom of the 6th. And the Bears get ready to come to bat here for what they're hoping will be their last opportunity of the Friday afternoon, as they have a 3-0 lead.
I think we may have another new pitcher. Brevin Renalette's pitching now.
Yep. Just looking at the dirt there, that was going to be my guess.
But I don't know who's at second. Let's see who they put at second. Number 1 is at second base.
That's Evan King. So King goes in at second.
And then let's see, our shortstop, is that still 3? Our left fielder's the same. Our first baseman's the same.
Yep.
Our third baseman's the same. I think our shortstop's the same. Nope, short is not the same. Shortstop is going to be number 11, Tyler Giesecke.
So Giesecke goes in at short. Renolette comes in to pitch.
And then Evan King is going to be your new second baseman.
And King has some big shoes to fill down there at second base.
If there were any changes in the outfield, I can't tell.
I think they've stayed pretty much the same every place else, though, Chris. I think you're right.
Hard to read these numbers on green.
At the plate for the Golden Bears, number 13, Blues, Streak.
Whitler's standing there in the on-deck circle, maybe, Chris.
Yeah.
So Creek will lead things off, and I believe it's Chris Whitler then follow him here in the bottom half of the sixth.
Makes sense. Chris has played DH for the Bears a couple of times that we've seen him.
Day where the wind really isn't any factor here in this ball yard, so nothing will be held up or aided if it gets out and over this fence here at Ray Sumter Field. And the Bears would like to get something going here. Blues Creek. Pop fly, and it'll be caught. There you go, just like that. The second baseman didn't have much of a play on that one. Evan King only had to roam about 3 steps to his left to make that put out to open up the inning.
So Whitler is indeed your pinch hitter, and then Zach Kern is going to stay in at this point.
That one's inside. Whitler had to hop backwards there to avoid being hit by the pitch.
I think Whitler is also a junior.
Yeah, Whitler's a junior. Everybody else, all the seniors were in. So Whitler a junior. Hutchinson, as you said, is a junior. Miley is a junior, so he was the only non-senior to get the start here this afternoon.
He was a designated hitter, so there were,
all 9 fielders were seniors. You're right. Whitler 1-1 as he fouls this one back.
Just a little bit behind it.
All right, Whitler, here we go. All right, let's go jump here. Come on. Come on, Wade. Come on, kid.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 as Whitler goes down swinging.
He just didn't ever have any of the timing right. So here's Kern.
Golden Bears, second
He's
baseman.
1 for 1. He
Zach
singled
Kern.
his first time up over shortstop's head, and then he walked. I think we're going to see a new pitcher, too, for the Bears. Didn't see who it was coming back.
Kern watches the first one hit the plate, bounce to the backstop for ball 1.
Yeah, I can't tell who it is.
Line shot, will it be fair down that right field line? No, just foul.
Good spot to put it, though. They were shading him pretty good there on right field.
That right field line's been open all afternoon. Chris, you're right. And there's a
He
big
stepped
gap
a
in
little
right,
bit more over since that, but
right center is wide open. This one popped up on the infield. Now it'll actually work its way out into right field. And the right fielder's right there to put it away. So the put out by E.J. Kissel is out number 3 for the Bears here in their part of the 6th.
no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base. Only took him 8 pitches to get through the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the top of the 7th. It'll be Stark, Bailey, and Smith when we return here on BMU TV.
Back here for what we hope will be the last bats of the afternoon as Tinora comes up for their half of the 7th. And the Bears hoping also to make this thing the last opportunity of the afternoon for Tinora. Let's see, leading off for Tinora will be number 7, Dakota Stark. And then Logan Bailey
Leading off for
and Derek
Tinora, third
Smith.
baseman. Dakota
So
Stark.
far, the first two batters are definitely the people they were. I think we might get a pinch hitter the third one.
A little bit inside for ball one as Hutchison goes into inning number 2. I'd like to get these guys out in a hurry and head on into the weekend.
That's right.
That one also inside for ball 2. Low in the dirt, ball 3, and Hutchison having some problems finding the mitt here.
Busy
to open
weekend
things up to 7th.
in our household.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the color run. They're doing a color run behind the high school for
okay.
the little kids.
Okay.
So Dominic's going to be running the color run, and then Tony has his CYO championship track meet on Sunday. So
Ball 4 is high, so the leadoff runner will head down to first base. And the big fella,
For
Bailey,
Tinora,
who
first baseman Logan Bailey.
sent that last one to the fence, steps in. Coach Inselman will come out to talk to his guys. And you kind of wonder what the, here comes Creek. They're going to change pitchers. Up.
they're going to put Creek in at pitcher. And then Dalen Miley's going to move to third, I bet.
Yeah, let's see what they're going to do. Creek goes to the mound, you're right.
I think Miley's going to
Pitching
third.
now
Miley.
for Bryan, number 5, Paris
Maybe
Creek.
not.
Yep. And maybe he's going to second.
Yeah, Miley's going to second.
Yep. And they'll send Zach Kern out to right field, or yeah, he's just heading to center to meet up with his other outfielders. I think Kern will go to right. Miley goes to second.
Going to be third, our third baseman.
Third looks
Blues
like
Creek.
it's going to be Blues Creek.
So we're doing this live on the air.
Rao will stay at short. And Paris Creek coming in.
That shortstop, that is Nate Rao's territory. He has a plaque there. It says,
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
That one never moves. You can just pretty much pencil him in and say, there we go, huh?
I'll tell you what, both of our teams, our softball and baseball, the lineups have been nearly identical. It's made it really easy for those of us that use a computer to. Yep.
Next year, baby, next year. When all these seniors are gone, it's all going to change slightly. It probably will stay fairly similar throughout the year once you get there, but you're going to have to shake that big Etch-a-Sketch machine that you've got there up next year to get the right names and numbers in there.
All right, so it'll be Logan Bailey up for them facing Paris Creek.
Bailey, doubled the last time up with
that long one to the wall.
drive over that Bailey Martin kind of misplayed and then got over his head. That was a rocket shot, though, and that one misstep really put Martin in a spot where he couldn't recover. Bailey watches the first pitch catch the inside corner for strike 1.
Leadoff walk was given to Stark by Hutchinson.
That one was very close, but ends up ball 1, 1-1. Creek a little bit low, 2 balls and a strike.
Learning the umpire strike zone and got a tall player up there, so.
Yeah, you got a big target there at the plate. And he rifles this one down into right field. That catches the line. Runner hits second. He'll get to third and stay right there as the relay comes to the plate. And he'd have been dead meat if he'd have turned that corner.
Wow.
Dakota Stark was stopped by Renolette there at third base, but just like that, back-to-back doubles there for the big first baseman,
Derek Smith.
Logan Bailey. And he has Tinora with a little bit of life here in their portion of the 7th, down 3-0.
2 in scoring position. That'll bring up Derek Smith, who has struck out and grounded out.
Nobody out here in the 7th. That's strike 1 as Smith watches that one go by.
You know, it's amazing to me that pitch was called a ball on the tall guy, but on the shorter guy, that's a strike. I don't understand that.
Ground ball right at the plate. Creek will pick it up. throw to first, and there's the first out of the inning. Runners with no option to advance.
1-3 on the putout. Runners held up. As you said,
For
that'll bring up
Tinora,
the
number
Dias.
11,
Nope.
Tyler
I'm sure
Gisicki.
Nisley was talking to Creek about where the runner on third was because he paid no attention whatsoever to the big fella down at third. He just picked it up and fired a strike down to third base. And again, he turns right around and throws a strike
This
to
is
Tyler Gisicki.
this is Tyler Gisicki now up at the plate.
That one low in the dirt, and again,
Gisicki came in and played shortstop after the whole pitching swap.
Right after.
Derek Nisley lets very few balls get past him. Fouled off, strike two. Top of the seventh, Bears up 3-0. If you just joined us, both teams with 4 hits on the afternoon. Harris Creek trying to get out of some trouble with the big strikeout for out number 2.
So bring up Dravis, Nathan Dravis, who is the center fielder.
For Tinora, center
Dravis,
fielder,
a lefty.
Dravis.
Maybe the last hope here for the Rams before they have to pack it up and head back towards Defiance this afternoon.
Here's hoping.
Creek starts him off with a strike and a center field for the final out. And a nice job by the Bears, Kyle Root, to end this ball game as he saw that one coming all the way, got a good jump, and was able to make the dive and catch for the final put out of the afternoon, and the Bears win this one 3-0.
Beautiful. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a final stats. Wrap it up after this on BMU TV.
Peace up, A-Town.
Well, it was a great ball game this afternoon, and the Bears got a very nice victory this afternoon over a Tinora team that is also in the state playoffs here and also the state champs from last year. And I got to believe that Coach Inselman a little bit happier this afternoon. You don't have a real problem with a team as good as Tinora, but the team that they played yesterday, Oak Harbor, I think Coach was expecting a little more out of these guys yesterday. Got a nice performance, though, this afternoon with a 3-0 win over the Rams from Tinora, Chris.
Yeah, they did, and let's take a look at the line. First for the Tinora Rams, no runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 5 left aboard. For Bryan, 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, 6 left aboard. Your time of the game was 1 hour and 30 minutes on the nose.
Wow, there you go.
Let's take a look at the statistics first for the Bryan Golden Bears. Dalen Miley was 0 for 3. Bryce Alabata did not bat. He was the pitcher. Derek Nisley, he was 1 for 2 with a double. He scored a run. He also walked. Nate Rao was 1 for 2 with the hit. He had a single. He had an RBI, and he scored a run. He also walked once. Kyle Roop was 0 for 2. He had a walk. He also stole a base. Bailey Martin was 0 for 2. Paris Creek was 0 for 2. He had a walk. Connor Terrell was 0 for 2. Ethan Retcher 0 for 2. Zach Kern was 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, a walk. Chris Whitler was 0 for 1. He struck out. Blues Creek was 0 for 1. Tyler Rouget was 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI. Our pitchers for the game, Bryce Alabata started things off, faced 18 batters through 72 pitches, 28 balls, 44 strikes, 7 strikeouts. 1 of those was called, 6 of those were swinging, 2 hits, 1 walk, and his earned run average was 0. Austin Hutchinson came in relief. He faced 4 batters through 20 pitches, 10 balls, 10 strikes. He gave up, he had a strikeout, strikeout swinging. He also gave up a hit, no walks, or 1 walk, excuse me. And Paris Creek faced 4 batters through 11 pitches, 3 balls, 8 strikes. He struck out 1. He gave up 1 hit. So that's what they wrote for Bryan. For Tinora, 1 for 3 was Reed Anders. He had a single. He also struck out swinging. Brevin Renolette was 1 for 3. He had a double. He struck out. He also was caught stealing once. EJ Kissel, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts. Dakota Stark was 0 for 2. He had a walk and a strikeout. Logan Bailey was 2 for 3. He had 2 doubles. One of those was really rocketed to center field and one to right field. Derek Smith was 0 for 3. He had a strikeout. Matthias Gruby was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Nathan Dravis was 0 for 2. He had a walk and a strikeout. And Jacob Dravis was 0 for 2. Tyler Giesecke 0 for 1. Pitching for Tinora, Matthias Grube started off. He faced 23 batters through 74 pitches, 40 balls, 34 strikes, 3 runs. All 3 of those were earned. His earned run average was 4.5. He gave no strikeouts. He gave up 4 hits and 5 walks. And then Tyler Williamson came in relief. He faced just 1 batter. He threw 1 pitch. In fact, he got a fly ball with that 1 pitch. And Brevin Renolette came in and faced 3 batters, threw 8 pitches, 2 balls, 6 strikes, had a strikeout. And the winning pitcher will be Bryce Alabata, and the losing pitcher tonight will be Matthias Grube.
Well, it was senior day here at Ray Sumter Field, and we say goodbye to Connor Terrell, to Paris Creek, to Nate Rao, Derek Nisley, Bailey Martin, Bryce Alabata, Zach Kern, Ethan Retcher, all those guys heading off to some sort of future here next year, whether it's college or service or whatever they might want to do. Before that happens, we hope that they have a nice run into the playoffs before this year's over and maybe get an opportunity to take it one step farther than they did last year, which would put them into the state playoffs, as they were just a game shy of that last year. And again, if they're going to get there, they're going to have to go through the big boys down in Defiance, as the Bulldogs, again, with a very solid baseball team. They won yesterday 16-0. So at some point in time, the brackets will align, and it will be the Bears more than likely and the Bulldogs. Before that happens, though, the Bears do need to get past the Indians next week, as they will face Wasion in the district opener next Thursday night at 7 o'clock in Archbold. Chris, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, it's been fun watching this team this year, and look forward to seeing what they can do in the tournament.
Big thank you to our sponsors this afternoon, Bryan Ford Lincoln, Genesis Healthcare, Northwest State Community College, Krill Funeral Home, Wheelan Auto Care, Culligan Water Conditioning in Bryan, and obviously we'll give a big shout out to Eric Herman on the dial, on the controls back in the big white bus, Char Miller here right next to me, and then Aaron the Steeler Woody, we'll call him from this point on. How's that? Who, while he wears a pretty ugly hat, does a nice job with the camera. Thank you for watching this afternoon, and thank you, Chris, for being up here in the booth with me.
It's been fun.
And we'll probably talk to you next time in the fall when the guys tee that football up and we get a chance to see how Grant Redhead and his football fighting Bears will kick things off and get them going in the 2015-16 season. How's that?
Looking forward to it.
Very good. With that, we'll say goodbye from Ray Sumter Field on BMU TV.